Hello everyone, Jake Peters from Hapeman Electonics here to show you another video on our new single battery load tester for locomotive batteries. Today's video is going to be on how to update the firmware for your load tester. Now this isn't something that you're always going to have to do, and this is more of a maintenance task than anything. But we are constantly updating the firmware for all of our products to try to make them better, and what we like to do is be able to give our customers the ability to download the firmware to the unit themselves via file that we send them over email or whatever, and it allows them to update the firmware and make the most of the new features without having to send their unit all the way back to Hapeman Electronics for us to do it manually. So here I'm on my laptop, and you can see that on my desktop here, I have a zip file called xpanelproject.zip. And this is gonna be the file that we send to you that is gonna contain the firmware for the system on it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna download this from the email that we send you, or if we send you a link to download it from online, you're gonna wanna download it from there. And you're gonna find it on your desktop, your computer, wherever you downloaded it to, and you're gonna open that up in Windows Explorer. And inside of there, you'll see there's a folder called xpanel project. And what we're gonna do is I have a flash drive, a regular USB flash drive in my computer right now, and I'm gonna copy that folder out of the zip file onto the USB flash drive. So you see I'm gonna drag this over here, copy it into the flash drive, and you'll see it's copying over. This will be done in a second. Okay, now that that's on there, we can go ahead and eject our flash drive from our computer, and then we can go over to the battery tester itself, and I'll show you how to put the firmware on the device. Okay, so right now you'll see this is a side view of the battery tester. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unlatch the top here and open the front panel. Mind you, the unit is off. It's not currently turned on or plugged into the wall, so make sure that you have it powered down when you do this. We're gonna open this up, and there should be a strap in here that allows the door to be held without yanking on any of the wires. Inside, you're gonna see on the back of the controller here that there is a USB port right on the side of the back of the screen. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our flash drive and we're gonna plug it right in to that USB port, and then we're gonna close the unit back up. Now you don't have to close it all the way. I just like to put a single latch on it to keep the door closed while we have the unit powered up. All right, so now we're on the front panel of the load tester, and you can recognize this screen as the main screen that you're used to. One of the things I want to show you before we load the new firmware is if you press the settings button, you'll see right here on the right-hand side of the screen what version of firmware is on there. Right now we've got 1.0A, and the reason why I'm showing you this now is because you'll see that once we load the new firmware on, that number will change, and that's kind of confirmation that your firmware update has succeeded. So what we're gonna do is, you don't have to be on the home screen, but I just like to be there because it's home base. What you're gonna do is you're gonna select these three corners of the screen. There's nothing visible there, but you'll notice that what happens is that if I press the corner, you see a little white square pop up. If I do it again over here, it'll pop up another one, and then if I do it again up here, it'll exit out of the current operating program. So I press that, and it brings up a menu, and I want to select exit. And what that does is it exits out of the software that's currently running, which is the battery firmware that was currently running on there, and it takes you into the back end to allow you to load the new firmware on. So you'll see right here, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the second button from the bottom says removable storage, and then there's a little arrow, and then it says xpanel. So that means you're gonna put firmware from the removable storage, which is your USB drive, to the xpanel. So we're gonna click that, and it's gonna bring up a new menu that says on top storage to xpanel, which is what we want. And then in the list, you'll see one project in here, and it's abbreviated, but it says mobile battery tester is what it really stands for, which is kind of our colloquial name for this cart. So what we'll do is we'll select that, and then we'll press project update here. And you'll see it's saying a bunch of stuff, and basically what it means is it's copying the new firmware on. And after about a second here, it will say all the file :OK. And what that means is that the firmware has been updated, no problem. So now what we want to do is we want to shut the unit off, which I'm going to do by doing that. And then you won't be able to see this with the current where the camera's at, but I'm going to pull my USB drive out of there, close it back up, and then we'll power the unit back on. And we'll give it a second here to start back up. It generally takes, I mean, if you're familiar with operating the unit, you know it generally takes about 30 seconds to get booted up. And this is no different. Okay, now we're back in our main menu, and this is how you would normally see the thing once you power it up and when you're normally operating it. So now if we go to settings, you'll see that the version number has changed from 1.0A to 1.0B. And that is the indication that the firmware has been updated successfully. Thank you for watching this video about how to update the firmware on your Hapeman Electonics Single-Battery Load Tester for locomotive batteries. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at hpelect@hapeman.com, or you can call our shop here at 724-376-2239. Thank you.